This is Zoe.
Yeah. So you've been working this morning?
Yes, we come straight from set. We've literally just landed in the middle of this madness. So yeah, all good.
And you kept your makeup and you took yours off.
I've got a lot more in the car, slapdash.
So Dan, how did you find the war scene?
Amazing, absolutely amazing. It was, I think, the most fun I've ever had in front of a camera. Actually, just so different to what I was asked. What was asked of me from the first series. I was just saying that I think the most exciting thing I got to do last series was ride a bicycle, and that's sort of been blown out of the water quite literally this series. And it was just an amazing week, it really was. And I think the cast and crew involved just loved it. Being outdoors and real boys' own stuff. It was cool.
Did you come back in with any real life injuries, any bumps and bruises?
I did do my back in a bit, but it's sort of it's all right now. But apart from that, we were fine. Carrying a wounded soldier several times across no man's land and throwing him down and then going back and doing it again. So yes, that wasn't great. But apart from that, mercifully okay. So yeah, it was good. Yeah.
Do you know how many times you had to do that? Do you remember?
It was a lot. I sort of lost count after a while. But it was running into double figures, definitely. Yeah.
And so, what's it been like for you coming into such an established cast? Was it a little bit nerve-wracking? Because obviously your character has to look nervous and has to look like, oh my god, I'm coming into this family and this house. And so, did that help in a way? That you
Very
were playing
helpful,
that?
yes, because that was actually the first scene I shot.
Wow.
So it was really nice to actually sort of use the real life nerves and put it into the character. Pretty daunting, but everyone was so lovely and welcoming that it was really absolutely fine. But just
So there's no one doing method acting and being a bit mean to you?
no, everyone's been absolutely charming and just lovely, and I was a huge fan of the first series, so it was quite strange to actually sort of be acting opposite everybody, and to be so aware of who these characters are, and then sort of having to respond to them. But it kind of makes you up your game because everyone's so in it and really knows what they're about, and so you have to make sure you reach that standard. So it's a good challenge.
Do you guys play pranks on each other on set, or what do you do to kind of have fun or wind
There's
down?
a lot of silliness, but most of it's generally based on the scene, so we'll generally do a sort of silly version of the scene amongst ourselves while we're waiting, just to sort of keep things light. And I don't know. Do you think of any?
Hugh can be quite naughty with his ad-libbing.
Yeah.
Or just to put you off?
Yeah.
But not at key moments, just at moments where
It's all well written, but do you all want to kill Maggie Smith for getting all those lines?
it's the way she delivers them.
Yeah.
She knows what she's doing.
It's very funny watching her deliver them though.
Yeah.
Even in the moment, it's very funny.
Can I just ask you, I was speaking to Alistair and he said that he sort of gave you a pep talk before you did, some
Yeah,
of the
he did.
trench scenes. Can you sort of elaborate a little bit more on that? And
Well,
what
not
it
really.
helped in terms for you or for you?
I mean, it was certainly very, very helpful. I could never really repeat the sort of things he told me because it was very private and personal. But the accounts of certainly what it was like to be a serving soldier at the front, to then come back to a relatively sort of aristocratic society and go to somebody's 21st birthday black tie ball in somewhere very like Highclere Castle. Having served in the Falklands, and the weirdness of that and the strangeness of that was something that I was very keen to convey, and incredible stories and things. So yeah, he's an amazing man. He's full of stories about all sorts of things. So yeah.
And there were night shoots as well, weren't there?
In the trenches, yeah, there certainly were. Yeah.
How bad was it in the trenches? And then for you, just going around doing your...
It was. I don't know. I can't remember which were the worst hours, the first two or the last two of the week, but after a certain amount of time in there, you just thought, oh, this is just brilliant. Yes, I'm cold, yes, I'm muddy, but when do I ever get to do this ever again? This is so cool. There's no guarantee I will ever do something like that. In my career, I hope I will. But
a bit guilty though, thinking, oh, this is actually so cool. But when you think about the reality of it,
yes, sure. I mean,
in those
obviously, as an actor in preparation for the scenes, I'd certainly thought about that and researched that, but. Actually, in the moment, those scenes where you're just sort of running through explosions is incredibly thrilling. And I think for a lot of guys who were actually involved, it was incredibly thrilling. I think it would have to be. I don't think all of them were necessarily completely terrified for their life every second they were out there. There was an element of camaraderie, and and there was a sort of a myth around it, and a lot of guys were desperate to get out to the front and get stuck in, and not realising the horrors of it. But so we just got to see the thrilling side without too many of the horrors, so which was.
I mean, did it give you?
There is, they did use real TNT for the explosions. It's just that they weren't exploding sort of rock and glass and stuff. It was sort of peat and relatively safe earth stuff. But so it was actual TNT going off, and you really did feel it in the pit of your stomach. This real sort of boom as you were moving along the trench or whatever. And a couple of seconds later, you'd be trying to deliver a line, and suddenly you'd have a mouthful of Fuller's Earth, or some peat would sort of fly up your nostrils. So. In that sense, it helped with the reactions to those situations.
Is
Yeah.
there something that they? Sorry.
The show was already a success when you auditioned, or
Oh, yes,
when you were
yeah,
cast?
it's
So
all
was there a
there.
lot of competition for the role? How did that?
I mean, I don't know how. I assume there was a lot of competition just because I would have sawn off my left arm to do it. I was absolutely sort of adamant that I was going to get this role.
You did bring a saw to the audition.
I did threaten a few people. Yeah, I mean, I was a huge fan, and I know lots of my actress friends were also huge fans, and so I feel really, really lucky to have got the role. I was over the moon. I had my Tesco bags in my hand, and I just dropped them on the street and shouted down the phone to my
Was it a
agent.
long process?
No, I did one meeting. I just did one audition, and then my tape just got sent round all the important people, and then I got it, and I was just absolutely thrilled. And I thought I would have had to go through the ringer, really sort of have several meetings, but I didn't at all. So I was quite lucky, because I think I probably would have fallen apart if I'd had to do more than one. Would have been so nervous.
You wear such a gorgeous outfit in your first scene.
Yeah.
Obviously, going into the wardrobe department for the first time and seeing your frocks must have been quite thrilling as well.
Oh yeah, really, really thrilling. Because I mean, I'm all about the period drama. I love a period drama, and that dress is amazing. It's an original, and so it's actually on its last legs, and I'm probably the last person who's ever going to wear it. So that's a real privilege because it's gorgeous.
Bit scary then.
A bit scary, yeah. And I did rip it. I did sit down one day and it went, and I just completely panicked and went into the wardrobe truck and went, it's ripped. They said it was fine. I mean, it's just bound to happen because it's so old. But yeah, no, it's thrilling to wear something like that. I mean, it's just gorgeous. I love it.
Dan, going back to the trenches stuff,
gosh, yes.
was there anything that you weren't allowed to do, the insurance, or that they thought you can't really do this, so they got stunt guys in, or pretty much were you?
No, I pretty much did all my own stunts, I think, which was great, but not for my back. But yeah, does that mean we've got to move on? But yeah,
Thank you.
nice to meet you guys. All right.
Thanks.
This is strict, aren't it? How long was that one?